Namaskaram. It's 9 o'clock. Um, Last day, that was on 10th December, I was telling you during the BCS Business Communication Skill class, whatever minimum required for the BCS, like permutation, combination, circular permutation, and little bit of probability we have done. But BCS, there was CTC, there was confusion about the syllabus, and then I asked some of you to get the handout, because that day morning only I got the handout. December 10th morning I got the handout, and I found that the CTC, what is in your general syllabus and what is provided in the handbook, there are some differences. CTC we have only one class, so I was doing generic mathematical aptitude, which is shown in the semester 3, where CTC contains some portions of mathematics. But then when the handout is given, I found slightly different. There are some confusions in that for me, but having no clarifications on that, I asked you to look at the syllabus and get it clarified, but I have not got any feedback from any one of you.
Good morning, doctor.
Yeah. Anything to add on what I'm saying now?
Sir, I joined now, sir, just now.
Okay, fine. So
sir, in the syllabus portion, it is given permutations and combinations
that
and
is
probabilities,
that
sir.
is in BCS, and
Yes,
BCS
sir.
there are
Actually, no, sir, it is in CTS wala quantitative aptitude portion, sir. But yesterday they clarified that the mathematical portion of CTC will come in BCS paper, sir, along with the English questions.
okay. So, but the CTC syllabus looks like it has something industry analysis is what is given as a subheading, and industry analysis, it talks about nature of industry, players of industry. I understand probably that is not neither English nor mathematics, but me having some background in MBA, I'm sure that is not what is to be dealt in the CTC part. Anyway, anything which you learn in MBA is part of campus to corporate. The nature of industry, players of industry, nature of computation from economic perspective. This is how the syllabus reads. And then continues saying that logical reasoning, puzzle, picture puzzle, rational puzzle, data sufficiency, data interpretation, and syllogism. So probably I thought I will take up something from that today, because in the BCS part, permutation, combination, circular permutation, and little bit of probability. How much probability is not clearly shown. So the basics of probability is anyway understood. That comes as part of BCS in the permutation itself. That could be enough, or we could add at any point of time. So here the logical reasoning is a very big topic, or it's a too short topic. It can be seen as the puzzle, picture puzzle, rational puzzle. These are all understandable because you look at a pattern and then see the pattern is somewhere mismatch, odd man out sort of a thing. What is shown and what is not in tandem with the sequence in which it is supposed to occur, you could pick up that, or maybe create a pattern to see whether the pattern is matching or not. All this is what is supposed to be done in the portion of puzzle, picture puzzle, or pattern matching, etc., etc. Where the data sufficiency part, probably or the data interpretation, syllogism. Syllogism is also like almost like I don't know how many of you know what is syllogism. The you give a reason from
All cats are dog, like that question,
yeah.
sir.
So actually there are some assumptions given. You draw some conclusions from the assumption or proposition. The proposition or assumption will tell you this is what it is, but that need not be your general knowledge or basic knowledge which you have. There people can get confused because reds are blue. You can't ask why red is blue, but there can be very logical syllogism, can be a logical question also, like all dogs are animals have 4 legs. So immediately you can conclusion can be dogs have got 4 legs. It is not directly told that the dogs have 4 legs, but all dogs are animals have 4 legs. This is one best example of probably a direct distinct deduction with a good reasoning, or maybe an induction from a reasoning. This is one part, but normal syllogism can be a part of mathematics, because when you get some questions all A's are B, immediately what you should do is you can draw a Venn diagram. If I say all A's are B, A's are B, but I don't say B's are A, therefore you need to have 2 circles, like the diagram which shows 2 circles in which all A's are B. That means A should come inside circle and B should come the outside circle. So if you can draw like this, then you understand, oh, this is what it is. This is how it is. I'm showing you now. So no A is B. If something is written like that, then you should know how to draw the diagram. So that is also one method of illustrating your logic. Some A's are B. Some A's are B means you will not have the 2 circles, one within the other one. You will have a common portion. Intersection will be there. So it can be A. This could be the set where you have A. Some A's are B. So some B's are A. There is a common portion between. That means there is a intersection between A and B. The other one could be the B set is bigger than the A set. A contains B or B contains A, sort of a thing. That's why when you draw a bigger circle and then inner circle will be smaller one, which contains totally inside the first one. So these can be, in English it is called maybe affirmative, negative, such names, and in mathematics it is called intersection, subset, superset. So you can have a universal affirmation or a very specific cases also. That is syllogism. You will have to look at many such problems and then start drawing and then visualizing. Some illustrations will come in which you have few statements, assumption A, B, C, D, or 2-3 assumptions, maybe 2 assumptions are given. Only assumption 1 is correct or 1 is implicit, and assumption 2 is implicit. Assumption 1 and 2 is implicit, neither 1 or 2 are implicit. Such questions also can come. So you have to create your logic. I can give you one example to illustrate that. Probably take one problem. Suppose I have got A, B, hope you are writing, A, B, C, D, E and F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 subjects to be taught. 6 subjects to be taught. You have to create the timetable. The timetable runs from Sunday to Saturday. No gap. That means you have 7 days given. 6 subjects, 7 days given. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, 6 subjects, Sunday to Saturday, 7 days are given. You have to organize, but there are few conditions. The conditions are: A should not be organized on Thursday. So what you will do when such problems are there? You have to create a table in which 7 columns are there. Create 2 rows. Write Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Create the table. And then whenever you read the condition, start writing it there. So the first condition is, you cannot organize the subject A on Thursday. So maybe under A you can put minus A. A should not be there. One condition. C should be organized immediately after F. C should be organized immediately after F. You cannot write anywhere, but then C should be organized immediately after F. Therefore, you can write FC and then put beside. F and C should come together. What are you doing? This is mathematical communication. You are converting what is given into symbols, letters, figures, etc., etc., so that you can interpret them faster. C should be organized immediately after F. There should be a gap of 2 days between E and D. Therefore, you have to put E, put some 2 dash, and then put D. 2 days between E and D. There should be a gap between E and D, and the gap is 2 days. But that doesn't say whether E has to be first or D has to be first. So there are 2 possibilities. D can come and then E can come. So you can put 2D and 2 dash and E, or you can have D, 2 dash and E. Both are possible. There should be a gap of 2 days between E and D. Condition number 3. Condition number A, B, C, D, E, F are the subjects to be organized in 7 days, Sunday to Saturday. A should not be organized on Thursday, so minus A will come on Thursday. C should be organized immediately after F, therefore FC will come. Then there should be a gap between E and D, 2 days of gap. The D double dash E can come, or E double dash D can come. One day there will be no lecture. One day is a holiday, one of these days. That means Sunday, Saturday, Monday to Friday, any of these, no. Condition says Friday is not a holiday. That means Friday there has to be something. Other than Friday, any of the days can be a holiday. Just before that day, D will be organized. That means before Friday, D is organized. So definitely you got one which is to be written, that is D on Thursday. Because it says just before that day. Is it true?
Sure. Yes, sir.
No.
It actually says about the holiday.
Yeah.
I think it says the day before the holiday, D should be there.
Yeah, so it doesn't say it is on Thursday. Many people get confused here. That's why I asked you that question. So it only says it can be on any day, but that has to be the previous day of the holiday. But that can never be on Thursday. The conclusion here is, because Friday is a holiday, it cannot be on Thursday. So you can, again you got Thursday, you got minus D. D cannot come there. One day there will be no lecture. Friday is not that day. Friday is a working day. So it doesn't say Thursday has to be D. Just before that day, that means before the holiday. Before the holiday. So you got one more subject that you can write it as H. H is a holiday. So what does it say? What is the conclusion of this condition? One day there will be no lecture, that is, take it as holiday H. Just before that day, D will be arranged. So always DH will come. So you got only one conclusion from this statement. Don't get confused and then put something like this. When you get this condition, don't put D on Friday, don't put D on Thursday. Just before that day, D will be organized. That means whenever there is a holiday, if H is the holiday, before that. So DH will come as a combination. Okay, H is a holiday, H is not a subject. B should be organized on Tuesday. So definitely here we got one entry, that is B. So far direct one entry only, that is B. B should be organized on Tuesday and should...
Sir, I have a doubt. Should we take it from Sunday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday?
It doesn't matter. Whether you take it from Wednesday to Tuesday also doesn't matter. Because it's a circular organization, right? It goes Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like that in the same order. Order is important, that's it. B should be organized on Tuesday and should not be followed by D. Should not be followed by D. Should not be followed by D. Therefore, B should be organized on Tuesday. Automatically you can write B at Tuesday. And should not be followed by D. That means on Monday you cannot have D. One condition is given. Now tell me. A, B, C, D, E, F. Consider H is a holiday. A should not be organized on Thursday. Minus A on Thursday. C should be organized immediately after F. Therefore it becomes FC. There should be a gap between E and D, 2 days of gap. That means D double dash E or E double dash D. There should be a gap of 2 days between E and D, that is 2 days gap. Therefore E double dash D, D double dash E. Both the possibilities are there. One day there will be no lecture and that is not Friday. So other than Friday, any of the days can be holiday. Just before that holiday, D is to be organized. So DH becomes one combination. After D, H will come, holiday will come. B should be organized on Tuesday. So one entry directly is given, that is...
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
How many classes will be there per day, sir?
Understood, one subject, one day, that's it.
Okay, sir.
Unless it is told, this is how it is to be interpreted. B should be organized on Tuesday and should not be followed by D. That means Monday you cannot have D. Any other day you can have D. There can be 2-3 combinations possible.
So a small doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So you're teaching permutations and combinations right now. So do we have it for exam? We don't have it, right, for exam? This is the pre-sem one?
Understand, I am not concerned with any of these exams. I have given a syllabus and I am doing my teaching. I have no information about what will come, which paper will come, where it will come, when it will come, because I have no communication on that.
Yeah, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I joined late,
But,
sir, like today, matlab 2 to 3 minutes late. So you were telling something that this CTC exam will be from second year on, like first year onwards, na, sir, like second year and third year.
I did not say that. What I said is the original syllabus given on CTC in your website Vijayawada, where the CTC has got syllabus in which the mathematical aptitude is seen in semester 2, semester 3 and all that. Since semester 1 did not had any syllabus, I picked up from that and then started teaching you. But the handout came on December 10th. That means last working day when I met you. Therefore, I told you on that day to get clarification on this and then come back to me or put some comment, but none of you did that. But then
That's not because
They are telling
yesterday we
you,
had
sir.
a class, sir. Yesterday we had a interactive session with the HOD.
Yeah.
And what she said was there is no CTC exams to be conducted because it's maths. It's a maths, right?
Yeah.
So I thought there might be maths exam related to CTC, but I guess it's not there because if there's no English CTC, then maths also won't be conducted, right? So just a small verification. That's it.
see, just now Alka told that the clarification is the CTC BCS mathematics portion will be combined and asked in BCS or CTC, I don't know, wherever it is.
Yes, sir, because in the BCS syllabus it was
See.
mentioned for the quantitative aptitude portion, two are there, sir, probability and permutations combinations.
I am so sad and upset and unpleasant with all of you. You are more worried about your internal examination than learning the subject. And my job is not
about that, sir.
my job is not examination, and I don't even look at how much mark you get. My concern is how much knowledge you get. Probably,
Sir, like,
yeah.
no, because like it's not about not learning the subject, but it's about. So we don't know when the exam will be conducted, right?
How
So
do you
suddenly
worry if a
exam
good,
and how
if
then-
every day, as far as I am concerned, every day I am evaluating, I will tell you how much mark you will get in each subject, not even this.
Hmm.
With your concern, the way you are interacting, the way you are looking at portions, the way you are discussing, the way you are answering all the test paper. I kept on conducting a test paper to evaluate all of you. I can tell you how many of you will get BBA with good marks, how many of you will get a job, how many of you are good in communication now itself, unless you make a drastic difference.
Because like exam test, right? Like suddenly they say exams will be next week.
I told you very
Exam
clearly,
next week, what do we do?
I told you very clearly, I am also as new as you in the university, and I am less communicated, or probably I get less answers from the department or the HOD on these questions because it's not well answered, including the syllabus is probably, imagine a handout came after 35 days of class,
Oh,
for which I must have communicated many times, and then the answer came, it will come to you, that's it. Okay, and it has to come from Vijayawada. So it came from Vijayawada. When it came, that is why I asked you to look at it very carefully, because you asked this much. I have to tell you, you look at the syllabus, it says something. That's what I said. It contains, how can a CTC syllabus which is given to mathematics and English faculty, industry analysis, nature of industry, players in industry, nature of competition from economic perspective, and that says industry analysis, and the industry analysis at the end you have logical puzzle, logical reasoning puzzle, and etc. When you look at the handout, you must have, actually, if it is not given, I don't want to give it because it is that confusing. When you look at the lecture part divisions, it says not what is given in the syllabus, it says something else. So I am sure this doesn't matter, because you have to learn more logical reasoning. You have to understand what is the content inside that. That is all what I am supposed to do within this given circumstances.
Yeah, to be honest, even from maths also, business maths also, we have a small query also, because when I saw the maths course handout, it was tough for me to find which lesson was there in the which reference book, to be honest, because the reference book which they suggested was VC Sancheti, and in that functions is different, matrix is different. Somewhere else, the lesson name is different and the content is different. It took me almost 15-20 minutes to search a whole, almost 10 minutes, to be honest.
No, you are talking about a different the subject mathematics itself, not BCS, BCS and CTC, right?
Yeah, because like say, as you told that the CTC maths which you told in the course handout is different. It is something else written, and the one which you're teaching is different, right? So in the same way, I'm just saying that they both are maths thing is related. I'm saying.
See, actually, what is to be done is there is a syllabus given, there is a handout given. As per the handout, there is a course structure which is created on lecture number 1. This is what is to be told. This is what is to be given. So probably there can be some confusions. Doesn't matter. That's why I said you don't worry about exams and no. I'm sure all of you will pass, because any university people don't pass, they don't get students in next year. So you don't have to worry about all that.
No, like so one more thing, like in a day you upload almost like 2 to 3 videos in a day.
Who?
You.
Yeah, that is what I do. I am a teacher. Basically, I teach many subjects. Yesterday, you must have seen probably, I don't know, chemistry.
There is physics there and some atomic chemistry something.
Electrochemistry, yeah. Yesterday, I taught electrochemistry. Before that, I taught about magnetism. Before that, probably. So whoever comes with me to some questions, basic whatever subjects you have, probably I will teach that and then make a video out of it. That's it.
Oh, and sir, like, wait. First thing, my big question to you is, first you did aerospace, right? Aeronautical engineering, right?
I am a mathematician basically, but PhD is in fluid mechanics. The fluid mechanics contains a lot of applications in space, aerodynamics, thermal related problems. So it's close to physics a little bit. But in space department, I did probably something on image processing. That's close to computers, electrical engineering, electronics, computer science. Probably if you want to relate to BTech, they are the subjects. But basically it's physics and mathematics. But then I was running a photo lab.
Suddenly you went off directly to aeronautics, right?
It is not aeronautics, it is image processing. Image processing is full of matrices, mathematics, computer vision, photo processing, like Adobe Photoshop what you have or Google Map what you have. So probably we created a Google Map equivalent to that before Google Map came into so.
Sir, I got the solution.
Akash, can you wait a minute?
Akash is more worried about that and not the problem given. Somebody else have solved the problem. Yeah.
Sir, I think we need some more information about the problem, sir.
Yeah, this is what is.
I got the solution.
Yeah, this is what it is.
I got part of it.
Vishweshwar has got a point there. That is because in your syllabus that talks about no, there are many probabilities. There is no unique solution. If some more conditions are given, there will be a unique solution. That is what the subject called data sufficiency. The subject is called a data sufficiency.
Data sufficiency.
There is something called a data sufficiency, data interpretation. That data sufficiency and data interpretation, what I did was, while explaining, I created a data interpretation to you. Data sufficiency will tell you this is sufficient enough to conclude this. But here I did not put more conditions because you can get 2-3 solutions. Yeah. So maybe there is no unique solution. If somebody tells me this is the solution, I will have to again test with this to check whether it is correct or not. When somebody else gives, again I will have to check. Okay, so tell me.
it's only D fixed, sir.
Yeah.
Since we can have two blanks between D and E, D
Yeah.
comes on either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
No, you fix something and give this is the solution. Don't give options to
Okay,
somebody because you are supposed to make a timetable. You cannot tell you can take any of these days. No.
Okay, sir.
So you fix a solution. Somebody else got a solution. Tell me who is that?
Sir, actually made a small mistake.
Yeah, check. So here the options are to look at whether you are able to get conclusions from a complex conditions given to you. This is logical reasoning. Actually, this is analytical skill, logical reasoning. This is where you are supposed to use your brain.
Shall I say
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Tell me. Yeah. I am writing.
Tuesday, it is D fixed.
Yeah.
Wednesday, if we take D on Friday.
No, don't ask all that. You must tell.
No, I'm saying, sir, I'm saying what condition I took.
No, don't. You give the answer, then we will check the conditions.
Okay, Wednesday would be A.
Wednesday is A. Yeah.
Friday F.
Friday F.
Sorry, Thursday F. Thursday F.
Thursday is
Friday
A.
D, sir. Friday D. Thursday F.
Yeah.
Friday D.
Hmm.
Saturday holiday.
Yeah.
Sunday C.
Yeah.
Monday E.
So does it satisfy all conditions? D and E are 2 days apart.
Yes, sir.
D and E are 2 days apart. Yes. And
D is before the holiday.
FC is coming together. No, you made a mistake.
Sir, C.
C should be followed by
Friday.
F. You went wrong there.
Okay, sir. Sir, then Thursday would be a holiday.
See again, you did a wrong thing. Thou don't give another option. That means you did not check it thoroughly, right? Check
Yeah,
thoroughly.
I was going with the other option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I was
don't.
going with other possibilities.
Now don't tell me that no, if it is not that, put something else. Now somebody else.
Yeah.
You thoroughly check, then only give answer. You cannot give a timetable and then tell no, yeah, if not this, that. It doesn't work.
Okay.
It's not that simple, but it is very simple. I'll tell you. I was working in an engineering college. We have too many sections, syllabus, too many subjects, too many teachers. In one Excel sheet, I did everything. You don't require large, great softwares. Half day I used to do. I was part of MBA department only. I was head of the department of MBA. But then the whole college timetable used to come to me. Somebody resigns immediately. I know how to put somebody substitute, because an Excel sheet will tell you where to put what. These are all what you have to practice in Excel sheet. If you want to create logic, look at it, sequence it, put it together. See, why this small problem you have to solve tomorrow? You may be in a big company where shift of people have to be put. Some missions will have to be engaged. Your job is in a shop floor. A shop floor is, you must go and look at different companies. I used to visit a lot of companies. You must see the Vejan company who creates pump. There and all I used to go. World class manufacturing practices, which I learned from Institute of Public Enterprises probably 10 years back. When I did a program there, what I did was, we went around different companies to look at how world class manufacturing works. That's what is industry experience. Then how do you make schedule? So analytical skill, logical reasoning is one basic qualification every manager requires. Administering 5 elements, probably that is where, I don't say the syllabus is wrong. Probably that is where the syllabus which says industry analysis, nature of industry, players in industry. Which are the players in industry? I don't know whether you are learning it already in some other subjects. 5M. Management is always 5M. Man, material, mission, money, market. Do you know this? 5M. Have you heard about this 5M? Managing that is business. Man, material, mission, market and money. So there, logical reasoning is very, very essential. You have to put, item should come, cement should come, then only you have to call a mason. First material should come, then man should come and mission should come. Money should come first because you have to buy. Then market you should create, then only you know what to construct. Assume that number of flats, whether you need a 1-bedroom flats or 3-bedroom flats. You must know in the market who are all the buyers. Any material, any man, any mission, in which combination you have to post. That's where logical reasoning. So you must know an industry analysis, a business analysis require all these which is explained there further, telling that logical reasoning, puzzle, picture puzzle, relational puzzle. You have to relation one to another one. How to relate that? What contains what? The syllogism. Yeah. Anybody got?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me. Now don't make a mistake, because I am keep on writing, rubbing. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Be fixed on Tuesday.
Let me take some other color. I'll take a red pen. Yeah. See, I keep lot of different colors of pens so that I know how to mark it. Yeah. Tell me, beta.
Be fixed on Tuesday.
B is Tuesday, beta. Yeah.
A on Wednesday.
A on Wednesday.
E on Thursday.
E on Thursday. Yeah.
F on Friday.
F on Friday.
C on Saturday.
Now I will have to again scold you, my dear. See, what happened is, because D and E or E and D should come with a 2 days gap. Is it coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me. See you on Saturday.
Sunday would be.
Yeah. See you on Saturday. Sunday.
Sunday would be D.
Okay. Fine. Then.
Holiday on Monday.
Okay. All conditions are done.
Yes, sir.
HD. Yeah. Correct. That's it. But don't think this is the only solution,
No, sir. I have one more also.
Yeah.
There are
Good enough.
actually Total, I guess 4 to 5 conditions.
Good enough. See, here what is given is you got more data, and then there can be a lot of questions associated with this. I can ask a lot of questions, How many lectures are organized between C and D? How many lectures are organized between so and so? Those questions can be there so that people know. Okay. So when you make a statement, what is to be done? Look at the statement very carefully, convert them into conditions, and then put those conditions appropriately in the columns. That is what is logical reasoning. Okay, either in picture, you create a picture out of it. From a picture, how do you derive conclusions? That is data analysis. Data analysis can be graph. Any graph which says the population, increase, decrease, the speed increase or decrease. Such questions. These questions where the graph is given, you will have to derive data from that and make statements. That is possible. Okay. So these are all regarding data interpretation, data analysis, logical reasoning, data efficiency, data sufficiency, data less given, data more given. You are supposed to derive some conclusions out of it. That's what it is. Okay. Now let me give you another statement problem. There is a travel agency and the advertisement in a newspaper from the travel agency says many Indians travel of European countries many Indians travel to Europe to spend their holidays. Okay. Many Indians travel to Europe to spend their holidays. There are many agencies in India which organize holiday trip to Europe. Indian travelers depend on many travel agencies.
Sir, can you repeat it once?
I myself don't know what it is. Many Indians travel to Europe during holidays.
Okay.
There are travel agencies in India who conduct holiday trips to Europe.
Okay.
There are many travel agencies who conduct trips to Europe. Does it
Okay.
imply anything which is any conclusion from this?
No, sir. Not much. We can say only what is there in the question. That's it. We can't say much.
So is there any conclusion? Because what is not there? No data. It's only few statements, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is called the data
Insufficiency.
insufficiency. There is no sufficient data. Data sufficiency is not there. There can be many questions like this. So ultimately, don't look at too much, because you will have option A, B, C, D, in which what says is neither A nor B, first condition, second condition, none of these are valid or invalid sort of a thing will come. You understood? Only, for example, I'll tell you, only those who get first class in graduates can come for MBA studies. There are plenty of first class graduates who can apply for admissions for MBA. If any institution admits students with less than first class, the reputation of the institute will go down. Is there any conclusion from these statements? 3 statements.
Most.
First class graduates generally get admission for MBA courses. Second, there are plenty of first class graduates who are likely to get admission for MBA class programs. If any institute admits non-first class students for MBA, the reputation of the institution will go down. Is there any conclusion which we can derive from this? Yeah.
No institute accepts second class students.
So there is a conclusion. What is the conclusion? To maintain the status of an institute, only first class graduates have to get, and therefore most of the non-first class graduates will not get admission in MBA. That's a conclusive statement which you can make out of it. Graduates who are first class are eligible to apply for MBA, and they will get admission in the best institute. That's a statement which you can make out of it. So from an inconclusive one or two, one statement is inconclusive, second statement is inconclusive, third statement is also inconclusive. All the three together we can derive and get a beautiful statement. The first problem I gave, all are inconclusive. But if I give some statements which qualify, saying that if any travel agent takes people to some other country who are authorized for European travel only, then they are blacklisted. If such a statement comes, then there is a conclusion which you can create out of it. So you must look at statements, read in between line, see whether you can conclude something out of it. That is logical. Otherwise, simple English statements will become illogical. In syllogism, what they do, they give you illogical statement sometime, which is not practical. You will have to look at it very carefully and derive some conclusions out of it. Data sufficiency is, some statements are given which contains no data. So you will not be able to get any conclusion. From one statement, no conclusion. Second statement, no conclusion. Third statement also no conclusion. But if you look at together, probably you can get some conclusions. This is what is to be understood when you look at problems of logical reasoning in terms of data sufficiency, and where data sufficiency and syllogism has to be understood differently. Okay, one has logical reasoning where you derive some, clubbing 2-3 sentences you can derive a logic out of it. The other one is some logic is given which is not practically possible, and then you will have to look at within that statement to conclude what is given there. That is syllogism. Okay, so you must take a lot of problems like this, understand. And one of the problem which we did today is the logical data, putting them together, creating timetable, creating a sequence, and that sequence is very, very essential. Okay, I think we will take some more problems on data sufficiency and then do some examples. Today we did not do BCS, we did CTC, because I thought BCS we have done good enough. Now you have got 2 more minutes, you could post your attendance and then go. We'll pick up some more questions on data sufficiency tomorrow, which is part of CTC. Rajiv came now, 9:49, where 9:50 the class is over.